What are some boyfriend-girlfriend relationship hacks? My wife periodically suffers from a general melancholiness and will need to do something to snap out of it, but will decline everything I offer. I've found that instead of asking, if I just say we're doing this, she's likely to go along with it and come out with a sunnier disposition. For example, would you like to go out to a movie? Will get a sullen no, but movie title is playing at 6 o'clock. Let's go gets a positive response. My wife is well aware I do this and thinks it's a great arrangement. She understands that if given a choice, she'll often just mope around the house unhappy. TLDR. If someone needs a pick-me-up, don't ask if they want to do something. Just tell them what your plans are and they're more likely to go along with it. Sometimes you need someone else to pull you out of the wallows. I have never been one for public displays of affection. My girlfriend, now wife, is big into PDA. She would often complain that I never tell her I loved her in public or shared a kiss or hug. I always held her hand and felt this was enough in public. She disagreed. So my solution was to discreetly show her my feelings by squeezing her hand twice, and she would reply with squeezing my hand the times. I explained to her that 2 hand squeezes meant love you and 3 squeezes meant love you too. This quickly caught on and we have been doing this for 8 years now. She hasn't complained yet about lack of PDA. As a bonus, when we married, my wife purchased my wedding ring with squeeze engraved inside. That's a cute freaking story, bro. Ever since I started dating my wife, she always loved to tickle me. A year into the relationship, she confessed it was her way of getting me to hold her hand. Apparently, to stop the tickling, I grab her hand and hold it like normal hand holding. Still works to this day, and I smile every time I realize she's pulled her trick. That's adorable. Well, since you said relationship and left it open to interpretation, I'll share. My younger sister, 11 years old, has learned this trick where, if she ever gets in trouble is being yelled at by my mother, she turns on country music, and my mom almost immediately stops being upset and just starts singing with it. Only country music though, nothing else works. I've witnessed this countless times, and it is freaking genius. I know a guy who has a standing $10 tip with his wife's hairdresser. He gets a call each time his wife gets her hair cut with a brief description of what was done. Wife walks in the door. He says, "Honey, did you get your hair done? It's a bit shorter and looks great." Winners all around. One time my mom got her hair cut like drastically. It was probably at about the middle of her back before, and after it was well above her shoulders. Somehow my dad didn't notice for a whole day and a half until they ran into someone they hadn't seen in a couple months who pointed it out. My dad still says how uncomfortable the couch is. My girlfriend knows that if she kisses me on the back of the neck, I can't stay angry. If I'm ever angry or upset, she won't let me fall asleep. Normally, I don't like to talk about my feelings. All she does is say my name softly and kiss the back of my neck, and I open right up after that. I have little control. It makes me very comfortable. We've had great talks with me as the little spoon, and she just talks into the back of my neck. You are never the little spoon. She is the jetpack. Squeeze her arms and make rocket noises. Whenever my uncle farts, his wife says I love you. Eventually my uncle started saying I love you too every time he farted around her, prompted or not. One day that may be the most fricked up bout of laughter you ever have to apologize for. Hide chocolate around the house, in random places. When roommate girlfriend is PMSing, crampy, hormonal, and miserable, and calls me at work to complain about feeling terrible, tell her to look behind the silverware tray, under the couch cushion, behind the plant, etc. Instant comfort, and it shows that you care enough to go to the trouble to prevent problems before they happen. Of course, this can lead to her craving chocolate when she's not feeling crampy and awful, which can lead to you coming home to find her trapped on top of the fridge, unable to get down, after having searched for chocolate. I just remember that the same guy who doesn't notice my spiffy new haircut or new dress or that I washed the dishes is the same guy who doesn't notice when I get a horrible haircut or gain 10 pounds or that I didn't bother to clean up my place before he came over. Crap, this is probably the best advice in here. I got one that's like this. My current girlfriend is real kinky, likes BDSM and being submissive in bed, and likes when I roleplay as her master. So about a month into it I go out to the store and get a cat collar for her and we started using it when we played. For the life of me, I could not find a leash or collar in an adult store, so I improvised. It became a kind of our keyword that we're playing, that she's supposed to call me master, etc. It was a little thing that I didn't think much of at the time. Thing is, the collar has a little bell on it that jingles every time she moves. So it seems now she's conditioned so that whenever she hears the bell she gets turned on. She's heard it in my bag when I'd bring it over and immediately will get turned on, start grabbing at me and try to suck me off and the like. She also forgets she's wearing it and has almost gone out to class and work with it many times. Needless to say I'm thrilled with this. DTL. Doctor. My submissive girlfriend is a Pavlov dog who gets turned on when she hears a bell. It's true that does work. When my girlfriend wants it she wears green. So a year later I'm now conditioned to get aroused whenever I see green. Walking through forests must be an interesting experience for you. I have a Wi-Fi access point that sends its syslog to an Ubuntu server running resyslogged PHP miscl. A PHP script is watching the named pipe that the resyslogged outputs to. Long story short, if my girlfriend is walking up to my house, her phone associates to my Wi-Fi and I get a text message before she even gets to the door. Of course, it gives me this info for any of my friends with my Wi-Fi password as they approach. It ignores my MAC addresses, but still keeps track of when every device has associated. I use Twilio to send texts from. I just listen for the sound of her car, but I did something similar when I was teaching a CS class. Long story short, I'd sit with my back to the door and greet students by name when they came in. When they WTF at me, I'd just tell them I could recognize people by the sound of their footsteps. My girlfriend always falls watching TV on the computer. Usually, I hold the laptop while she lays on my chest. She always falls asleep first, leaving me with the tricky task of rolling her off of me without waking her up. Following some stupid suggestion I read in a magazine, I squeeze her gently, give her an audible kiss on the head, and then roll her over. I repeated these exact steps every time she went to sleep, with success. After a year, I decided it was time to put my hard work to the test. She fell asleep on my chest as usual, but this time all I did was give her a light kiss on the forehead. As if by magic, she immediately rolled over. Now, no matter what position she falls asleep in, I can make her roll over just by making a kissing sound. TL. Dr. I Pavlovian conditioned my girlfriend to roll off my arm and you can too. Squeeze, kiss, roll. Don't buy flowers when you frick up. That crap's cliche. It's alright for anniversaries and birthdays and crap, but the best time to buy your woman flowers is totally out of the blue. It's a thoughtful little gesture when it's random, and it doesn't cost you much, but gives you mad karma for when you do frick up. TL. Dr. Be love flowers, just don't be cliche about it. An exceptionally good time to buy a woman flowers is when she fricks up. A week after my dad bought a new car my mom scratched up the side of it on a cement pillar in a parking garage. She was obviously mortified. My dad comes home from work like a boss, a dozen roses in his hands. My mom has been telling this story for 20 years now. I have a full-on awful sleep pattern, and never sleep well, constantly tossing and turning and kicking. My girlfriend found two ways around this. The first is the way she positions herself in my arms, which is quite a secure and solid position. Given she is less than 5 feet tall and weighs next to nothing when I turn over she usually comes with me. She seems to sleep through it, and given I have a large bed I am yet to throw her out of it. Apparently it is better than being kicked or rolled onto. The second is when we crash in a bed which is far too small for the two of us. I lie on my back and she lies on my front, stomach to stomach, as she is so small in comparison to my height, probably around 6 feet 2. She fits quite snug using my torso as a mattress. Where do you want to go to dinner? I don't know. Where do you want to go? I don't know. Okay, pick 3 or choose. You pick 3. Daily bar and grill, the pick me up, and, I don't know, Leonis, the pick me up. Done. I have heard that, while flirting, if you do something when a girl smiles, play with your hair, wipe your eye, or some other thing visual. Repeatedly, it becomes naturally ingrained for her to smile when you do it. Not sure how true this is. Agree to anything that doesn't really matter. That way you can demand the things you actually want. Example, we bought a house. I wanted my den and the garage to be exactly how I wanted, so I gave her the rest of the house. Anytime she asked my opinion, I said I can give you suggestions, but really, it's your decision. It's your room, and really, none of that stuff matter at all to me, so it looks like I'm being agreeable and sweet, when really, I'm just being selfish. So she tells me what she wants in the garage and I'm like, nope, that's mine. You got your pink guest room. The garage will be my brewery. She gets 80% of the house. I got my 20%. Zero arguments. If this hadn't been established, I guarantee you she would have gotten 100% of the design choices, and we would have had 1,000 arguments. From male perspective, 1. Have a stash of gifts ready at any moment. 2. When she tells you her problems, don't give her advice, just listen. 3. Have a moment of gratitude with her every day, and let her know something about her that you really appreciate. Actually, better than just listening is asking questions. That way, you sound interested, she knows you're listening, and you can give advice by asking subtly leading questions that cause her to arrive personally to a good conclusion. I've recently begun to follow the ask questions instead of giving advice philosophy, and it has made interactions with my loved ones so much smoother. My husband and I don't fight very often, but when we do, we decided we needed a sign to let the other person know that we still care and we're still there for them. So, we will hold hands and take turns squeezing the other's hand. It works very well for us. It lets us know that the arguing isn't about me versus you, it's us versus this issue. We know that both of us are working towards a goal where everyone is happy and that we still love one another. I listen to him when he talks, even if it's about something I find intolerably boring, and ask follow-up open-ended questions. This makes him happy and more likely to listen to the things I want to talk about, which he probably finds pretty boring as well. I always meet him at the door with a beverage, a hug and kiss and a smile. This puts him in a good mood, so he doesn't stress and ruin my night when he's had a bad day. He listens to audiobooks on his phone while he's driving, so I can hear him coming up the stairs. We go for walks together every day if possible. Gives us both some exercise and fresh air and some time to bond. When I'm angry, I excuse myself and I go take a shower. It relaxes me and I think more rationally so that I can fight fair or apologize afterward. By the time I get out, one of us is usually sorry anyway. Whenever he wants me to try something he enjoys, I give it a fair shot. He really likes it when I take interest in his hobbies. So simply do not catch on because of my short attention span and my own hobbies that take up a lot of my time. But if it makes him happy, I will give it a try most of the time. Actually, most of these aren't hacks so much as healthy relationship dynamics, but they're easy to implement, so I guess they apply. My girlfriend has this trick where she turns on pee and it just really gets me going. TLDR. My girlfriend is a computer. My girlfriend has a certain perfume that sets me off. She didn't condition me like the app's girlfriend. It is entirely the scent. It drives me crazy. When she sprays it, I stop what I'm doing and just gently tackle her onto the bed. For her, I just have to drag my teeth across her neck. No one will see this, and it only slightly relates to the OP, but I have a similar thing. My wife and I used to be smokers, and whenever we would go out for a smoke, she would first put her hair up. After a couple of years, I knew that when she put her hair up, it was time to go out for a smoke. Then we quit, and it's been years, but whenever we are home alone, and she puts her hair up, I am overwhelmed with the desire to smoke. At first I couldn't figure out what it was. It was more of a general something is going to happen feeling. Then I put it together. I hate green and yellow Skittles. My GF loves those the most. I hate cleaning the bathtub, but don't mind vacuuming the apartment or cleaning the toilet. She hates both of those things. She hates peanut butter, so I get to eat right out of the jar. This is the part of the show when I wonder why I haven't married her yet. Here's my tips. My boyfriend and I have been together 4 years and have lived together for 2. Split the bills evenly down the middle. Helps avoid resentment. Reach an agreement about your money. Once the bills are paid and your regular everyday house items are purchased, your money is your money. He wants a new video game? Let him have it. You want new clothes or that one thing you've been eyeing for weeks? Get it. We get paid on the same pay period. The 5th and the 20th of every month. The 5th is rent and groceries. The 20th is the power bill, internet, and household items. TP, shampoo, body wash, dish soap, ect. After that, we usually do a date night of sorts. Dinner and a movie usually. Our schedules don't often allow us to see each other for a solid day. Lately, he has the day off, cleans up a little, and makes dinner when I get home at 9:45. It's nice. I do the same for him if he's working. However, if you live together, enjoy your time apart. I like my days off when he works all day, allows me to clean, or do whatever I want at my own pace. Sometimes it's annoying to see the same person every day, especially if you live together. Then again, I'm just a person who enjoys my quiet time. Your girlfriend is amazing. Hang on to her, if only because she may have another trigger for you to stop breathing if you really pee her off. My hack? I know it's lame, but I have an appalling memory. My girlfriend, by contrast, has an amazing memory for the little things. Like if I mention a film I like, she'll get me the DVD about 6 months later. She just knows what gift I'd find amazing. We've been going out for 2 years, and on both Christmases she's made me a calendar with a photo of us and a chocolate for each day, and a few special treat days. My hack, if it merits the name, is simply taking a note of music, films, artists, events, hopes, ambitions when she mentions them, and seeing if I can make them happen. It also means I have a small stockpile of gift ideas at any one time. Last Christmas I sewed her a multicolor scarf, and I'm planning on learning to draw at some point so I can surprise her with a sketch of us. For people who wear glasses and dating someone who also does. When I first started dating my now ex, I would point out that our glasses always hit when we kissed. After a month or so of doing this, if I sat close to her and she noticed me take off my glasses, some sort of action ensued. 1. How was your day is a mandatory 20-40 minute conversation every day. If you think a TV show or sporting event or being tired gets you out of this, you don't understand what mandatory means. If the other person abuses this power, for example, always does it at inconvenient times as a power trip, that may be a deal breaker. 2. When arguing, focus on behavior not character. When you do X it makes me feel Y is something someone can do something about. You always X and you are a Y is less constructive and more likely to elicit a defensive response. 3. Don't go to bed angry, unless you're too tired to be useful. At a minimum you need to establish, before anyone leaves or sleeps, what the real issue is. That you understand how the other person could be upset, even if you have a case to plead, and that you both have an intention of working it out. This doesn't work if the other person is crazy and you shouldn't be with them. 4. Before you get married, establish, at a minimum, what kind of city you see yourself living in at age 40, rural, suburban, downtown, how you want to do finances, joint or separate, whether you want kids, whether one person will stay home with the kids, and what you want to do about religion with the kids. This will keep you from marrying a rock star unless she also wants the white picket fence and the kids in Catholic school later in life. I have this skirt. It isn't terribly exciting, kinda short but not really short, white and lacy, but I only wear it when I want to go at it like a bee in heat. Hacking in progress. The biggest one I found is this. Guys tell things to each other to seek solutions. Women tell each other things to obtain sympathy. A man will tell a woman something, looking for a solution. She expresses sympathy and the man moves on to find someone who can solve his problem. The biggest breakdown occurs when women tell men things. A woman will tell a man about a rough day expecting sympathy. A man will then try to tell her ways to solve her problems. Guys, she doesn't want solutions. She just wants someone to sympathize with her. If you can consciously remember this, it makes conversations a lot easier and more rewarding for each of you. This is Pop Ish 101. My girlfriend hack is anytime she gets mad for something I think is stupid, I make her write down why she is mad and read it to me out loud. She does the same for me. 90% of the time, if you just take the time to think about why you're mad in the first place, you calm down and realize you're being dumb. I'm reading this thread next to my boyfriend on the couch. He glanced over. Are you trying to ninja me? You're trying to ninja me. There are many ways to hack your GFBF or basically almost any living creature. Usually the easiest thing to do is differential reinforcement. For example, if you want a person animal to do something on a regular basis, don't tell him her what to do, or even punish the wrong behavior. Reinforce the right one. Studies have shown that this technique of education is far more effective than any of the others. This is how you do it, if you don't already do it unconsciously. 1. Get him her to do the target task. For example, wash the dishes. 2. Make him her feel good afterwards. Thank you so much. You did a great job. Bark 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 dog treat. 3. Repeat until 2 is not necessary anymore. Note, if he/she is not even once doing the targeted behavior, just ease him her into it. For the dishwashing example, start being nice to the person whenever he/she is in the kitchen. Then do this when the person is near the sink, then when the person is actually doing the dishes. TLDR. Get the person to do the thing you want. Reinforce. Profit. I'm glad that my fiancé doesn't literally treat me like a dog. I pride myself on being a great gift giver. I genuinely enjoy doing thoughtful things for someone else, but I only have the money to do it up big about 3 times a year. Whenever I hear a boyfriend or a friend mention something they want, I make a note of it in my phone. When anniversaries or holidays come up, I just pull up the list and see what's on sale. My ex-girlfriend would kind of do the same thing, except instead of putting her hair up, she would just put on yoga pants. Frick, I love yoga pants. When my girlfriend wants it bad, she will just say, honey, wait a few seconds. I say yeah. She looks me dead in the eye and says frick me. All these other hacks can go to heck. I get a raging boner instantly, every time. When you buy her flowers, send them to her at work. Flowers at home get seen by almost no one. Flowers at work make other women jealous. Lesson learned after many years of marriage. I have nothing to wear. Translation: I have nothing new to wear. This is your chance to be a hero. The correct response is always, let's go get you something to wear then. I write sometimes, usually in large chunks. When I'm feeling inclined to do so, I'll write a huge batch of poems in an evening, stash them in my laptop somewhere, and dish them out to her one by one every now and then. We've been dating for 2.5 years, and I probably have about 100 or so I still haven't used. She is very pleased, and it usually brightens her day, diffuses angry situations when she receives a nice handwritten note. Even if I'm angry, there's nice words I've written when my head was in a better place. TLDR. Write love notes by the bundle. Give them out like treats. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.